Scientists say they include observable a sign on the sky of the really at first stars to light in the world. They did it in the aid of a little wireless scope in the Australia outback. How was tuned to discover the one always testimony for hydrogen gas. The hydrogen gas was in a country. How could just be explainable if it had been affected by the intensive lighting of stars. The crew puts the period of the cooperation at a simple 180 millionth year following the big explosion. Taking into account how the universe is approximately 13.8 trillion year ancient, it told the at first stars lit up a complete 9 trillion year up, though our own sun flickered in lifetime. We at first begun vision signs in our information behind in deceased 2015. And we very consumable the recent pair of year, hard to believe of all kinds of probable option explanations, and later guideline them out one by a, he told. The is the at first period any crew has been capable to this testimony for the detect of the alarm, and with hope it will go downward as a landmark for the kind of astrophysics surveillance. For many decades, scientists include desired testimony for the really at first people of stars. Theoretical says they would include grown up out of the common cold hydrogen gas. How imbued the world next the big explosion. They were really perhaps bulky giants. How burnt shiny but short lives, up later explosive and sowing the world in all the chemistry beginnings. How do lifetime probable. We cannot see these old behemoths immediately in present technique, but we can, say astronomers, seize an consequential testimony of their operation. Their UV lighting should include changed the large clouds of hydrogen gas nearby them, breathtaking the gas in a country. How done it consume backdrop emission at a really particular wireless rate of 1.4 GHz. The problem for the spreadsheet upper-sized scope at the Murchison Observatory in West Australia was to try to choose out the alarm in the sea of wireless sound upcoming of the heaven. Portion of the question was knowledge wherever precisely to searching on the range, taking into account how the extension of the world above the eons would include extended the alarm to lot reduce frequencies. But the crew ultimately found it in the area of 78 MHz. And knowledge which we do on the bet of space extension, the change in rate gives an descent for the star hydrogen cooperation of 180 millionth year following the big explosion. Of considerable concern is the force of the alarm that is so overweighting. This suggests, say commentators, how the hydrogen gas was a lot colder rather than previous imaginary. One breathtaking explain for the is if the hydrogen gas atoms in the previous universe had several straight cooperation in as called black question. The invisible material is postulated to already exist since of the way its gravity impact is seen to influence the rotating of galaxies. But its material is unidentified since no some kind of cooperation has yet been observable. The Murchison surveillance may be the at first illusion how such interactions are probable, and the news story thus is potential to galvanize efforts to do the at first detections of black question suspended particles. Paolo Di Bernardis is a prof of astrophysics at the College of Rome, La Sapienza, and was not associated in the study. He told the alarm was very exciting. Professor Brian Schmidt, who won the Nobel Award for revealing and accelerate in the extension of the world, outlined the opening as potential revolutionist. And Professor Carl Glazebrook of Swinburne College of Technique, Australia, told astronomers world would now be keeping their breathing before the outcome was affirmed by an freelance experimental. If it is, later the will outdoor the doorway to a new box on the previous world and potential a new insight of the environment of black question, key explainable.